Hello, YouTube. I'm just waiting for Facebook. Let's just hello everyone on YouTube. I'm just waiting for Facebook here. May God bless you. Ooh, stop thing. Hmm. Hello everyone. Hello YouTube. Hello Facebook. How are you this afternoon? This afternoon I am blessed and highly favored. God loves me. God loves you. Oh, I'm so excited about what we have today. We're going to be talking about abiding in love. What is to abide in love? And before we go any further, I just want us to pray. I'm just going to pray right now. And I just ask you to, if you're so we've been talking on foundational truths of God, the Christian foundation. We've been looking at our identity. We've been looking at, the love of God. We've been looking at the power of the cross. Those are the things that a new Christian or any Christian, needs to, we've got something to build on. But if, we don't have a good foundation, then we cannot really, God, we are able to understand and we adore God. We just give the session to you and you say, and I think allowing it to germinate and to spring forth and to receiving from God. And if you are here, so we can actually just remember together God gave given us everything. Jesus has already given us everything. All we need to do is receive by what Jesus did on the cross, by God sending his son. He gave us what for that has already been proven. Yes, God answers the prayers of the righteous. And remember, we are made righteous by Jesus Christ. It's in Jesus' righteousness that we rest in. We've been made righteous by Jesus. We have not righteousness of our own. The righteousness that we have is that one of for future, that our future is great. To teach the world, looked at Philemon 1:6. Forgiveness hinders you to progress. So when you give somebody, all those things that are staying in the past, how can you receive what God has for you? For you to be able to receive what God has for you now, you have to come from that place of the past. In Isaiah, it says that God says, I'm not in the past, I'm in the present. Come here now, forget the things of the past. And we said forgiveness can actually help you receive what God has for you as well. Effective prayer. We said effective prayer. You acknowledge God. You already have those things. You're in the kingdom of God. You are royalty. Royalty doesn't beg. You see, are you praying well, praying? Are your motives great? We have been given also. We've been given weapons. You see, we wrestle against flesh, and you need to do some fasting and prayer. Maybe you need to call somebody to pray with you. You see, we looked at all that, and in conclusion, we say that God has already given us every single thing. But when we know who we are, our identity, and we know how to use these weapons, and we know, right, and we trust Him, we will continue to. One thing that I refuse in my life is to pray for something for over 3 years. No. I start to evaluate my prayer life. I start to evaluate what's happening because God is never wrong. God looks at me and sees that He's the love of God. And as I always say, if you have something to contribute on this topic, please do. I like to learn from you as well. Today we are looking at abiding in love. What is to abide in love? When Jesus said to his disciples, abide in my love. Some of these things that we always speak, walking unforgiveness, and we do know how it actually means. How do we abide in his love? He says, he's speaking about the vine and the branches, and he's speaking to his disciples. I'm just going to open it for us so we can just read it. I don't want to read the whole chapter because it's very long. You see, he's speaking to his disciples, and in verse 9, love me. I also have loved you. Abide in my love, just as I kept my Father, abide in it. So we need to know how did Father love Jesus? Because that's how he starts God. So, how did If you have any insight on that, can you please put it in comments? How? And we also say that, the love of God for His Son is as deep, is a deep abiding. It's deep. We talked about, how the love of God, we boundaries. It just gives, you know, it is a love that passes the understanding of our limited human mind in God. See, God lavished, He lavished His love upon Jesus. He gave His all. He gave Himself to Jesus. He gave everything that God, everything that Jesus did was founded in, in God. He was forever with Him, upon Him, walking with Him, forever being present with Him. That is the same way Jesus loves us. So we can say, you see, His love for us shared whatever He had, what God did. Therefore, He shared all that as well. He did not say, oh, but He said how God loves us and how Jesus loves us. But how do we abide? What is to abide in His love? We're looking at that one verse, and abiding involves continuing to do something, continuing to remain. You see, live with you. Jesus tasted and felt and known what love is in a way. But the highest form of pleasure, that is what God itself allow the love of God to flow through us. It is to allow the love of God to actually enter us and to come out through us. That is what to abide in love is. It is to be aware of His here. It's to do things with Him. It's to move only do what the Father do. On His calling us to abide in Him. For us to be able to do all these things, we've got to be knitted with Him. We've got to be remaining with Him. We've got to be depending on Him. Like we say, you will abide in my love. Just as I kept my Father's commandments and able to abide in His love. So keeping the commandment helps us to abide in His love. And I said in His love, about His love, Matthew 22, verse 36. It says that this is I'll start from verse 30. It says, but when Pharisees heard that He had silenced the Sadducees, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law of the prophets. Remember the commandment that incorporates every single thing. That if you're able to love the Lord your God, if you're able to love the Lord your God with all your soul and all your mind, and to love your neighbor, Jesus loved you. For you to be able to carry communion. So we've got to actually sit down ourselves and understand, do I know what it is? And we actually allow it to flow to others. And this is the only way we're going to be able to allow it to flow to others when we have experienced it, when we dwell in it, when we live in it. And then, therefore, it's making that love to experience that love. Because me experiencing it is going to make me understand who I am. It's going to make me understand how much I'm loved. And when I know how much love, I'm able to, and not to make it is the same love that God has fucking given. He's saying, abide in my love. Does this speak goodness? Or there are some other voices that come here. I can show me love by removing these things that are horrible in me. Help me tend love to another person very well. He says, you will, he said, if insights, please share with me. I would like to hear from them. Tomorrow we're didn't realize we've gone so far extending His love to others. That is, we're going to be looking at the compassion of God. So thank you so much for joining.